Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Chiefs Out West. My name is Kia.
And I'm Ush Devas.
Welcome. We are here to talk about Chiefs versus Raiders after our bye week. You know, I hope everyone was surviving a whole week off of Chiefs. I know I was. How about you, Butch?
Yeah, man, it was kind of lonely. I'm not gonna front. I kind of just had to sit here and find something else to do. Uh, Decided to get into some other music things that weren't as cool as Chiefs football. So I'm glad we're back because I'm jonesing for it, man. I'm ready.
Right. Yeah, I had to bet a lot of money and then lose a lot of money because I had nothing else to do because I couldn't watch the Chiefs and stress about it. But glad football's back. Glad it's Raider week. We gotta get on top of this. All right, let's focus on what we're gonna talk about. What are we gonna start with first?
All right, this is gonna be probably. You know what? Let's give them a slow ball. We'll start off slow here. I don't want to go too fast into it. So let's talk the Chiefs defense versus the Raiders offense, which might actually be a good matchup in the.
Right. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, I don't know. Ever since the year started, I just been focused on the defense. Like, I just want to see the defense improve, and I think that's what we're going to be seeing. And I think, uh, one of my, a lot of, I don't know, I have a lot of key matchups that I really want to see this week. Is well, one, especially against the run. What are we going to do against the run? Josh Jacobs is basically the main person that I feel like if we can stop Josh Jacobs, if we can stop the run, then we will have a lot of success against the Raiders. I'm hoping Chiefs play Mike Pinnell. I mean, Ivy's not here, so we don't have to worry about that. So, with Saunders, Nandi coming back, I feel like our defensive line is pretty healthy. Obviously, the only one is Ogba not playing. He's out for the season. But I think for the first time in a long time, our offense is pretty healthy right now. And I'm pretty excited for that. But what I'm really excited for is like how we can stop the run. And, main three people I really want to really think about is Jacobs, Waller, and honestly, this is going to come up a surprise too, is also Richard. Was his last name Richard?
Yeah,
Richard
Jalen
being
Richard. Yeah.
yeah, because he's the screen passer, he's the third down back. If we can contain these three guys, then we'll have a lot of success. I'm not really too fearful about the right receivers at the moment. What about you, Butch?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a good matchup for the Chiefs. I mean, like you mentioned, there's always the run game and having to contain that. Look, Josh Jacobs is going to get a little bit of his. I'm not afraid to admit that, but that's not what's going to beat the Chiefs. You're not going to be able to run Josh Jacobs enough time to put up enough points to be able to beat us. So they'll try to use portions of the run game to keep themselves on schedule, on balance. Where they're going to try to make their money is with basically drawing up the passing game, John Gruden being able to scheme open guys like Darrell Waller and Tyrell Williams. Mind you that he's done a decent job of that. That's how they've won games in the past. They're just not very good at it. Like, they're good enough to get first downs. They're good enough to stay on schedule, give you 12 plays, 15 plays, and that's going to they're going to want to make that a part of their game plan so they can put up multiple 15-play drives and hopefully get themselves in the end zone. The problem is they don't always do that. Sometimes they screw. They'll have a penalty that sets them back, or they'll get into the red zone. They'll stall out on a couple of drives. Against the Bengals, against the Jets, they were miserable, dropping passes in the bad weather conditions, not being able to establish the run because the run. So those are the types of things I look at. I say to myself, look, we don't have to be as good as the Jets. We just have to get these guys to screw up 2 or 3 times to the point where they're like, hey, man, maybe we don't have it this week. Maybe we're only going to get 20 this week. And then the game planning, then the game calls in the game, Gruden will back off of it. Derek Carr will start to mope around a little bit. He'll start, oh, man, here we go again. I just can't put up points against the Chiefs again at Arrowhead. And they'll very slowly start to fold up.
Right. Yeah, and you know what? Like another key factor into this, I would add to it's basically what you say is Chiefs fans lining it up, being loud, because we all know how Derek Carr plays in Arrowhead, and he's performed like his usual self in Arrowhead for the last couple of games, um, and as long as we can provide pressure, I think with Frank Clark having that really big, huge confidence booster type of game um, against the Chargers, and having Okafor back, having him back healthy, that's going to help a lot. And Tano Pastano and all of that. And I think we're going to apply a lot of pressure. And I could just see, as long as we provide that and just play with intensity and play with loudness and fearfulness and all of that, we'll see the typical Derek Carr we've seen in the past couple of years for sure.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, you hit it on the head. Like we have the depth back. Now we're finally like a healthy team again, and it's beautiful to see. Having Alex Okafor back, having Frank Clark back, what that does is when we start to establish, you talk about the Raiders, they're a zone blocking team. They want to try to get on the run and get downhill on you and start to move you from sideline to sideline and have Josh Jacobs doing those one cuts and goes. So once that gets, we saw that Jets game. When I went back and watched that Jets game, Rodney Hudson was getting manhandled. I mean, they were getting blown up at different spots of their offensive line. They were getting stood up at the point of attack. If we can get that on first down, if we can get that on a clutch second down, get these guys behind the stick, get them off schedule, that's when Arrowhead begins to feel like it's caving in on you. The crowd will start to scream to a point where Derek Carr can't even hear himself. He starts to make mistakes. The snap count gets messed up when they think they're going silent count. He ends up fumbling or something like that. That's how the defense is going to be able to get itself in a point where they will really start to pour it on the Oakland Raiders.
Right. And we got to also remember, like, the last two games were against the Jets, the Bengals, who have the Jets, who have the Raiders beaten. We like these last couple of weeks when people were saying, "Oh, Raiders are gonna beat the Chiefs," "Oh, Raiders, oh, they have a chance of being AFC West," and then no one even mentions who have they beaten, who have they played, how great have they played, and how no one mentions that week 2 game against the Chiefs when Chiefs were without a couple of great important players on their both sides of the ball. But no one wants to bring that up. No one wants to even remember that. So, as Chiefs fans that are worried about this game, don't be. I mean, that's pretty, that's pretty crazy. But don't, remember, like, these guys are not where they're supposed to. They're not. I don't know. Sorry, they're the Raiders, and they're at Arrowhead. They have Derek Carr. They don't have a lot of weapons on offense. We have no one to really be frightened for. As long as this defense plays like they have these last couple of weeks and plays determined and focused and can bring it all, we will be fine and we will get this win.
Loose, fast, and free. That's what I want to see out there. Bring their attitudes. Loose, fast, and free. Oakland will do the rest. They'll fold up like a cheap tent. All right. Now, we talked about the defense. It sounds like we've already pumped the rest of our listeners up to the defense. Chiefs defense turns to the 85 Bears. How about the offense? What's the offense going to do against the Raiders defense?
Right. Well, it looks like, from the injury report, the only person not, on the total team not even going to be there is Damian Williams, which is going to be, he's going to be missed. But, hey, watching the Jets game, just the Jets game in itself, I've noticed a lot of slants, like, Jets giving it to Demaryius Thomas, Robbie Anderson, just in the slant and giving him and putting up plays where they can give him space to run. So I see a lot of Sammy Watkins, Tyreek Hill in space, and our favorite, rookie in the world. I feel like rookie of the season, maybe with him and Thornhill or even Saunders, whatever. But Mecole Hardman getting into space. I think they're going to have a lot of fun tomorrow, and they're going to enjoy the game because these linebackers, safeties, everyone is just going to be so confused. Honestly, they're not fast enough to cover these receivers, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun. Raiders are without their top 2 safeties, and it's going to be miserable for them. I think we should have a lot of success, and we should also utilize our running backs off the screen because I know it's Le'Veon Bell, but Le'Veon Bell had a frenzy against the Raiders, had a good time against the Raiders and so I think if we can utilize the middle of the field with on top of that we have Kelsey too, but if we can utilize our speedsters, slanting, going across the field, and allowing our running backs to go across the field too, we'll be successful.
Yeah, you said it. It's a party. Okay, when the offense gets on the field, it should be that. like you mentioned, they just don't. The thing about the Raiders is they're playing hard. Like I get that. The coaches are coaching the players to a point where they want to be physical and they want to be able to challenge teams. That's what happened in week 2. Guys were screaming towards the line of scrimmage at the first sign of color that reached even reached the second level of their defense. So when they're running that fast forward, I mean, they gave up bombs over the top like it was nothing. I was shocked to see it, honestly, with them knowing how fast our skill guys are. But, before I get too deep into how much I think we're going to rip them up, because we will, there's going to reach a point where they just can't stop the flow. Their defensive line is good. They do have a good defensive front. Hurst, Hall, Max Crosby is having a career year. Who would have thought that rookie was going to their rookie fourth rounder was going to be better than their number 4 overall pick, Cleveland Ferrell? But even Ferrell's getting himself a little bit as well along the defensive line, so they can do some things there. If we can control the line of scrimmage, if our 5 guys along the front can do their thing to protect Patrick Mahomes, there's just nothing that the Raiders can do. They're old. They're slow. They've had injuries. They were old and slow when they were healthy. Now they're old and slow and they're injured. LaMarcus Joyner isn't going to be able to do anything to stop what we got. Carl Joseph isn't playing in this game. They simply can't turn and run with these guys enough. And the problem with, I hate, like I said, I hate doing these. But for me, when I was playing ball, when I was playing in defensive backfield, the one thing I'll never forget this. DJ Horde, if you listen to our stories now, I got to give you a shout out, man, because there was only one guy. When I turn on the tape and I watch that guy run, you see what Olympic speed looks like. Oh man, it's one of those things. A defensive back, you're like, hey, let me take some Pepto-Bismol. Can I call in sick? You go into practice. Hey, coach, I can't practice today. My hamstring hurt. Because you get scared. You don't want to get clown like that. And we have the speed to clown these guys. They've seen it on tape. They know it. And as soon as those first 2 bombs hit them over the top, as soon as they start giving up plays and, the defense is too complex, you start bagging your teammates, start getting into fights and stuff right there on the field, on the sidelines, they'll be ready to fold up like a cheap tent. This could get real ugly.
Yeah. And this is our second game with our offensive line healthy in an amount of weeks. And plus we had that bye week. And so this is a healthy Chiefs offense. And I feel bad and I feel really sorry for this young Raiders team because they're the first team that's really going to be facing this true Chiefs offense that hasn't even reached their ceiling at all this year. They don't even have the play. They don't even have the tape to really see
put on tape
to see what they're capable of. Other than looking at last year, they have to look at last year because no one knows anything about them this year, and that's scary. And that's scary because Andy Reid, that I feel like hasn't even played all his freaking crazy ass plays that he's always played before. Since like last year, like he always has these plays where everyone copies and everyone's just, intimidate or, copy whatever it is. But he hasn't played those, plays yet because of Tyreek Hill being gone, because of Fisher being gone, because of Watkins in and out, because of Damian Williams, whoever is out, everyone's always out. And so this is the first year, this is the first game where we can have everyone at top strength, Hill. Oh my God, dude, honestly, I'm so excited about this game. I can't feel it. Yeah, I mean, I'm already ready. Let's do it.
I think I might. When I'm watching the game, I like to take notes while I'm watching the game. I might count them out. The first 15 plays that we run on offense, I might count them out and be like, those first 10 to 15 might average 12 yards. We might get 2-3 touchdowns off of our first 10 to 15 plays. I think that's how beautiful. I think that's what you're talking about. Those pat plays that Andy was talking about drawing up at the beginning of the year. We have not put that on tape yet. It just hasn't been there because not everybody's been on the field. We do it to the Raiders. I'm telling you, we do it to the Raiders. We start to feel good about what we're doing on offense, and then Bill Belichick, and I don't care. I'm a fan. I can look ahead to the next week. Bill Belichick, your defense is going to have something to digest, to chew on going into the following week.
Right. And like the reason that I feel like this is a good time that they start this is because, it doesn't give a lot of teams a lot of time to really prepare for this. And it doesn't give them a whole lot of tape. Like they're like, okay, well, we've noticed since week 1, this is how they perform. Week 2, they're like this, week 3, like this. And usually by this time, people have them all figured out. To have the the mindset that like, oh my God, this is like when like people have to like really start studying us is a good thing for as Chiefs fans. And it's going to be exciting. We'll see how it goes, but and I'm going to be really surprised if Raiders have it all figured out. And I'm actually honestly really scared for them. This is going to be a really fun performance, and yeah, let's do this.
Oh, how about it? What's going to be the final score out of Arrowhead on Sunday afternoon?
I'm going to go with 35 uh, 35-21. I think that the Chiefs dominate, and then they dominate throughout the game, and I think Raiders start score some couple of one or two touchdowns towards the end.
Yeah, agreed. I think it may even start off a little slow in the first half, get into the second half. Chiefs do that thing where they score right before the half, and then they get the ball right after the half, and they score again. Something like that really breaks the game open, really breaks their spirit out. The Chiefs win this one 38-25.
Good. Well, hey, it was great doing this. Thank you guys for listening up. Hope you guys enjoy this. Please like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you can. Help us out. We really enjoy doing this. But till the next time, thank you for taking out Chiefs Out West. My name is Kia.
Butch Davis. Chiefs are going to win.
Take care, guys. Have a good night. Peace.